What about the dance performance from Diversity in Britain's Got Talent? Is a Saturday night entertainment show the place for a serious political and social message like that?
Yeah, why not? I think this is a good thing. I mean, let's have more serious political and social messages on television, on radio, and let's do it in a way that people want to watch it. Let's have something that engages people, that sparks a debate, that, okay, it's dance on Saturday night TV, but people are talking about it. This is a good thing. I don't get the complaints that say, isn't it terrible? Let's just have flashing lights and colours.
Well, that's in between jugglers and comedians and impressionists. Is that we can agree it was a remarkable piece of art and an amazing moment of telly, but just, right routine, wrong place.
No, not at all. I don't believe that at all. I think if you have any two people, three people gathered together, they'll end up talking about politics at some point or discuss the matters of the world. Why shouldn't what you see on television reflect that? And why shouldn't what you see in a dance program or a Saturday night entertainment show reflect some of that? It seems perfectly reasonable to me, and long may it continue.
Would you even, let's say, have a political dance on Strictly, for example?
Well, why not? Why wouldn't you? I mean, look, ballroom dancing, like any other kind of music, is suffused with politics anyway. It's very hard to play music and not bump into this stuff. If you start to think through some of the tunes you like, you'll start to see there's all kinds of political messages buried away in there. Why not do this? Why not have the debate? Lots of people talk about, let's have free speech, let's have a debate. Okay, fine. Let's have that happen in every walk of life. Let's have these things political. Let's have, displays that engage people and get them talking and thinking about the world, rather than just, as I said, some bright lights and a bit of entertainment.
What do you think, Dominique?
I just completely disagree. I think the problem is not that, there hasn't been political messages and, kind of signals in music and sport. I think that's always been there. He's right. But the difference is in recent years is that a particular left-wing view is continually shoved down people's throats by celebrities and virtue signalers. This is the problem, and it's only ever one view that is shoved down people's throats. And when people have the goal to criticize it and perhaps point out a few things, like, for example, the organization that Diversity was supporting in that performance is a neo-Marxist organization that calls for things like defunding the police, that calls for things like the abolition of capitalism. We've seen now with the mothers of a lot of the people killed, for example, Breonna Taylor, coming out and saying that they want BLM to stop using the legacies of their dead children to garner money for themselves. It becomes a problem because what happens when celebrities push forward these types of things, it's normally because they don't really know much about politics, they've not done any due diligence in terms of research, and they're pushing forward an overly simplistic view of things. Supporting BLM is not just about supporting racial equality. People may think that that's what it's about because of what they've been told, but there are range of pernicious undercurrents when it comes to that movement that make it, politically controversial. I was attacked relentlessly for criticising Diversity's performance, and I personally believe that I've been vindicated when it turns out that co-founder Patrisse Cullors has accumulated $1 million property portfolio and has had to actually step back from BLM because of that. A lot of these things have been vindicated with time, and I don't think it was fair that so many people still are painted as racist and misinformed for having the confidence to criticise things like that.
James, final word on this?
Yeah, no, it's completely, I'm sorry, Dominique, I just thought it was nonsense. The idea that Black Lives Matter is neo-Marxist, I'm sorry, is a conspiracy theory of a very high order. What you see when people do these things is that they're supporting racial equality. There isn't some neo-Marxist plot behind Diversity, the dance troupe. I mean, okay, I'm all for a bit of, entertainment that involves politics. I mean, come on, let's have a neo-Marxist dance troupe on next time, and then you'll see what it looks like. But the idea that Diversity is neo-Marxist, that Black Lives Matter is neo-Marxist, it's just nonsense. Conspiracy theory, complete.
Well, it's published on the website of Black Lives Matter in America.
It's published on the website of a group that calls itself Black Lives Matter. If someone sticks a hashtag on Twitter saying Black Lives Matter, they're not calling for the abolition of the nuclear family. If somebody's taking the knee, they're not saying, I've read Das Kapital, let's go out and do that. Come on, this is nonsense.
Dominique?
Right, I'm sorry, but to say it's a conspiracy theory is in itself a conspiracy theory because that is complete nonsense. Patrisse Cullors, the co-founder of BLM, said with chest that they are trained Marxist, and there's
she's a trained Marxist. Come on.
Black Lives Matter, the organisation, has all of those aims on their official
organisation? There is an organisation that calls itself Black Lives Matter. You don't think the England football team have now signed up to neo-Marxism, do you? Come on.
This whole argument about the movement not being connected to the organisation is also a conspiracy theory. Black Lives Matter, the organisation, had $90 million donated for them. When you go on Google, you don't get a string of loose movements. You get the official website, which is where all of the millions of pounds and dollars from both BLM UK and BLM USA has gone. This is misinformation, and it's dangerous to keep spreading this lie because it's not the truth.
I'm sorry, who decided it was the official website? It's just sticking words in there. Some people call themselves Black Lives Matter and set up a website. It doesn't make it official. There's not a certificate they've got from the official neo-Marxist conspiracy that decides these things. Absolute nonsense.
James, it's pretty clear. It's pretty clear that the Black Lives Matter movement in America seeks to defund the police.
Something about racial equality.
James, we can all agree.
It's a big old movement. It's a big old movement. Lots of people saying lots of different things. I don't think people taking the knee.
I think we're worryingly close to gaslighting here, James. I think you're recharacterizing reality, I think. Dominique?
Don't be silly.
Obviously, a big organisation that has received over $90 million in donations, the majority of which have actually not gone to Black families. They've gone to BLM leaders themselves and people like Patrice Fuller's property portfolio. Obviously, a big organisation like that is going to have branches of smaller movements. But what do? They all coalesce.
Is there a membership list? Is there a membership list for this organisation?
Of the money goes. BLM UK posted on their official Twitter website, and bear in mind, Patrice Cullors came over to the UK to help set up BLM UK. They were writing things on their website, like referring to each other as comrades, talking about free Palestine. There's a very specific undercurrent of philosophy with this movement, and to say it doesn't is just misinformation. I'm sorry.
The street saying free Palestine, is that a neo-Marxist conspiracy as well? I'm sorry, it's an organisation. Is there a membership list? Can you join? Do you pay a subscription
Well, I
fee?
understand that Black Lives Matter as an organisation have filed for becoming a political party in this country.
I'm sure some people have called themselves Black Lives Matter and have filed to become a political party, but whether that makes them officially Black Lives Matter, whether anyone has to take them particularly seriously, and certainly I would be a bit hesitant about saying some people wanting to call themselves a political party would be need taking seriously is another thing. But the idea that some people taking the knee is part of a neo-Marxist, an international, no less, neo-Marxist conspiracy theory, presumably with a membership structure and secret branches, perhaps even cells organised
Not
throughout
that
the world.
secret, James.
I'm sorry, this is nonsensical. What is there a membership list? Can you join? Can you join Black Lives Matter? Can you
it's very clear, a coherent movement with a budget, with support globally. Final thought to you, Dominique?
Yeah, James, I'm sorry, I really like you, but you really do not know what you're talking about at all. Nobody's saying that Ashley Banjo is part of some secret network of neo-Marxists. What we're saying is people that immediately ran out in support of this didn't really know the things behind the organisation, which is why the Premier League in itself had to remove their Black Lives Matter slogans from their T-shirts because of the things they were calling for, like defunding the police and abolishing capitalism. You don't know what you're talking about, I'm sorry.
This is the home of big opinions. We've proved it in the last 10 minutes.